I just been chilling really because yeah, I've been doing a lot of chilling and stuff like that. But I'm really trying to get the videos out to you guys that you've been so patiently waiting for, and I'm getting to it. Today I'm definitely going to do that Gizzada recipe. And I'm feeling for some Gizzada too. So I'm going to do it. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to start getting back on that vlogging. I have not been vlogging too much, guys. I haven't been vlogging too much because I have had so much going on. I had to be doing a little bit of extracurricular activities, like, you know, thing off the seat. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cook this recipe for you guys. I have a lot coming up, and I'm going to do it for you as promised. So, you know what? Let's get going with this recipe, and I guess I will see you in my kitchen. All right? Peace. Okay guys, let's go over the things that you will need in order to make this Gizzada recipe. Some of the ingredients that I have listed here are things that you might not want to use, but this is how I make my Gizzada in my kitchen. Now I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour here. Let's see what we have here. We have 3 tablespoons of butter or margarine. I have half a cup of raisins here, half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and I'm also going to add some ginger to it. The ginger is going to kick it up a mean notch with the coconut. And I'm also going to add my salt, and that is a teaspoon of salt, and that is a tablespoon of baking powder. Now guys, this is the coconut that I'm going to be using. This is the dry coconut, and this is a sweetened coconut. So because this is a sweetened coconut, I'm only going to add a half of cup of granulated sugar to it. Okay? And if you want to go ahead and buy the fresh coconut, you could do so. That is the original way of doing it. I usually just get my dry coconut when I'm making recipes like this to make it easy, because I'm not going to get my fingers all cut up on the grater. But this coconut right here is just as good as the coconut when you buy it from the store, okay? And this is the one that I'm going to be using, and that is the Tropical brand. And I'm also going to add milk to make my dough. If you don't want to use milk to make your dough, guys, use water. You don't have to use milk, but I want my dough to have that certain kind of taste to it with the Gizzada, so that's why I'm going to be using milk. So don't say why you use milk to make it. You could use water, but in my kitchen I'm going to use milk. So let's get started. Okay guys, I have a pot on the fire here, but another ingredient that is very necessary for this recipe is your vanilla. I forgot to tell you that, you know, you're going to need vanilla, so you're going to need a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is put your butter in. You're going to add your sugar, and this is a half a cup of sugar. Also going to put my ginger in. And as far as the ginger go, guys, you could just put how much ginger you want. It's your choice. If you're a ginger lover like me, then you could put more, you know, whatever suits you. And then I'm going to add my nutmeg and my cinnamon powder. Also going to add a half a cup of raisins, and guys, this is optional, okay? And I'm also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. Then I'm going to add my coconut. So you just want to go ahead and mix this in. And my fire, guys, is on medium heat, okay? Okay, guys, so I'm going to give this about 5 to 7 minutes on medium heat, and I'm just going to go ahead and shut the fire off. I'm going to put that aside, and then we are going to move on to our dry ingredients. So that's how that looks. Okay guys, now we're moving on to our dry ingredients. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of butter. We're going to have our baking powder, and that's a tablespoon of baking powder. And that's a half a teaspoon of salt. Now, like I told you before, if you don't want to use the milk, go ahead and just do water. It is fine, it doesn't matter. I like the flavor that the milk gives me when I make my gizzada, so that's why I'm using this. Now with clean hands, you're going to break up that butter into your flour. Then you want to go ahead and add your milk or water and just knead that in. So okay guys, so that's how I want my dough to be. It's pretty soft, right? What I'm going to do here, I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm going to let this sit for about half an hour, within half an hour to an hour, and then I'm going to come back and finish this thing up. So you want to get a plastic wrap and just cover it over and just let it sit, and then I'll come back and move on to the next step. So okay guys, we are moving on to the next step. You need your rolling pin, of course, and here's my dough, and my dough has been sitting for about 30 to 45 minutes. And so I'm going to take that plastic off. I'm just going to throw that out on my surface here. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle some flour on top of here because I'm trying not to have it stick. That's why you're going to do that. And put a little bit of flour on my rolling pin as well. And then I'm going to start rolling this out. And what I'm doing here guys, I'm just rolling it until it becomes nice and flat. And then after it gets to this stage, all I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and roll it just like that. And cut it. Okay, so I'm cut it into 3 pieces, and I'm going to start working on this one. Sprinkle a little bit more flour. Okay guys, you want to make sure that your dough is nice and smooth, right? There's no lumps, there's no hair. You want to make sure that it's not sticking onto your countertop, because you want to make sure when you cut those circles, the circle come out nice and perfect. So that's basically what I want to happen here. So that looks pretty good, and it's definitely not sticking. That's exactly how I want it. Now I'm going to be using this to make my circles because I want to have that nice smooth edge to it, and so just want to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I made 5 circles here, and see how easy that comes off? That's because your dough is not sticking to your countertop. So we put this aside, and this is what your circle looks like. See? Nice and smooth. You're basically making a cup. Okay, so you put your finger in, you push it, and you pinch it. And that is how you want it to be, just like that. Okay. You want to go ahead, get your baking container, and you put it right there. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of it and put it on my baking pan, so I'll be back. Okay guys, so this is what that step looks like, and you want to make sure that it has that little cup inside, because that's how you're going to fill it with the coconut. So I'm going to put this in my refrigerator for 10 minutes and let it sit. In the meantime, I'm going to turn my oven on to 320, okay, and this is going to be baked within 25 to 30 minutes at 320. So I will come back and I'll show you how I'm going to get this thing stuffed. See you back, guys. So it's very easy. Just put your filling into the middle like that. Okay, so that is nice and ready to go into the oven. So now I'm going to put this in my oven, right? And remember, the oven is at 320 degrees, and I'm going to let this bake for about 25 minutes. Okay, so I'll see you back. There you have it, guys. I'm all done. Gizzada for you in my kitchen. Hope you like this recipe. Like and share. And once again, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy! I'm gonna let this cook for a good 30 minutes on medium heat. Cover it up nice and make it simmer. And when it's done simmer, a time for we eat. So see you back in a few minutes.
So this is in with your foundation, full coverage, you know, like bam. And last but not least, the last thing I tend to go for in my makeup collection is this palette right here. Let me show you what this baby looks like. It has a whole bunch of concealers. I believe it's $10 for this palette.